Hello again, everybody. Brian E, aka MissGrizzles87 here, and we're doing some more wrestling. This time we're going back to my day when I first started playing wrestling video games. This is WWF Royal Rumble for the Sega Genesis. It was also released for the Super Nintendo, and I think that was it. It might have shown up on portable Game Boy, Game Gear, but I know Super Nintendo and Genesis. This is the Genesis version. This is the one I remember getting. I remember finding it at a garage sale back in like 1993 when this game came out, 93, 94, for $5. You know, because even at yard sales and garage sales, you know, they knew the value of video games to kids. So I got it and I played the hell out of it with my dad. Like we had a good time with it. And still, it's something interesting. This is when the games became 16-bit. The first 16-bit one, to my knowledge, was Super WrestleMania, which was on the Super Nintendo Genesis again. And it took it in a different direction. Made it a little more interesting, but at the same time, more understandable. So here we go. This one was published by Acclaim, or under their Flying Edge banner. You know, like back when companies would have multiple companies within themselves, shell companies, to ship out these games to bypass like the limit of how many games you could do every year. Nintendo had that problem all the time. Okay, so this is smack in the middle of like the end of the Hulkamania days, like 1993, when he was about to take a break from wrestling to go back to Hollywood, and then he'd go to WCW next year. This is basically like the last holdovers of the old guard. Hogan, Macho Man, stuff like that. And then now you have a lot of the newer people coming in. And there's slight differences in roster between the two. And I'll point them out when I get there. So we'll go with a regular one-on-one, because you've got the one-on-one tag team, which is 2-on-2, triple tag team, which is 3-on-3, but you can only have a limit of 4 wrestlers on the screen at a time. So what you do is you press a button or button combination, and it cycles through your other teammate. So that's pretty cool. It's like the precursor to Survivor Series, which I think they actually had in one of these games back then. I think it might have been Super WrestleMania. And then the Royal Rumble, which is everybody in the game, you're facing up against them, and you have to throw them out of the ring. But here, I think up to 6 people can be in, because referee in the game counts as 5. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's go one-on-one. One fall is your standard, pin him to the mat, 1, 2, 3. Brawl is you win if you eliminate all their energy, just like a classic fighting game. Tournament is the one fall, but you're facing off against everybody else in the game to become WWF champion. Let's just do one-on-one. Difficulty, we'll keep it at 5. I feel lucky. And then CPU choose the opponent. Yeah, why not? So here's who we've got in this game. They got the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah! And they all have little MIDI versions of their music. Now it's interesting because it's at this time that Macho Man was kind of off and on as a wrestler in the WWF. He had retired in 1991 after losing to the Ultimate Warrior, but would stay on as usually be on commentary. But then he'd stop doing that and go back to wrestling. He had his match against Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8 for the championship, and then he would continue wrestling into 93 and even 94 before leaving and going to WCW. Haha. Alright, next up, you got the Hitman, Bret Hart. This is around the time when he was starting to really become a big solo star. Originally, he had teamed with his relative, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, as the Hart Foundation. And then he would go break off and do a solo career where he would become WWF champion. He'd win the Intercontinental Championship. And then he'd also get into a feud with his brother, the late Owen Hart. And, you know, a lot more than that. He'd hold 4 more championships. He'd be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And so, yeah, you got a lot. Hulk Hogan, this is one that's not in the Super Nintendo version. Hogan is still in because at the time of this game's release, he was still part of the company. Even though he wasn't really wrestling much anymore. After losing the championship, after winning the championship from Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9, he would not really make many appearances, but he would defend the championship against Yokozuna at King of the Ring, where through some chicanery, thanks to a rogue cameraman with a camera that shoots a flame out of it, Yokozuna won, and Hogan was pretty much done for almost 9 years. The Undertaker made his debut 3 years earlier, and is still an imposing force. He's also fought against the likes of guys like Macho Man and Hogan and stuff like that. Crush, Bryan Adams. He was the third member of Demolition, and then became Kona Crushed, he's called, because he was like playing up the Hawaiian kind of thing, with that mullet and the orange shit and something like, you make kids cry, bro. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he also wasn't in the Super Nintendo version. Another holdover from the 80s. And he'd be out of the company within the next year, too. How do you like them apples? But he also had a nice career. The Narcissist, Lex Luger, former NWA WCW champion. He would originally come over to the WWF as part of Vince McMahon's failed World Bodybuilding Federation, the WBF. However, Luger got injured in a motorcycle accident, and by the time he got back, he healed up and came back, the WBF was dead. So they just like, okay, well, you're a wrestler too, right? Okay, here, go wrestle. So he has this gimmick of like being like so self-indulgent, like so full of himself, narcissist. Exactly. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, former, also another wrestler who got big start as a tag team wrestler with Marty Jannetty, the Rockers. And that would turn into a solo singles run that would see him become Intercontinental Champion, face off against guys like Bret Hart, face off against guys like, once you get Kevin Nash in, Big Daddy Cool Diesel would be his bodyguard. But Shawn Michaels would have good matches all around. And of course, a long career after that. The model, Rick Martel, a guy who had a feud with Shawn Michaels. He also was not in the Super Nintendo version. So that's four out of 5. There's one more, and he's going to be coming up soon. But Rick Martel was a former tag team wrestler as well. Teamed up with Tito Santana as part of Strikeforce. Then turned his back on him and became the model. Again, another full of himself kind of character. He would have an atomizer, a little perfume sprayer, full of his perfume called Arrogance. But he's also an accomplished wrestler. He'd been wrestling for several years, before and after. Papa Shango. He made his debut in 1992. He's the last person in this game not featured in the Super NES version. Started off as a voodoo priest, similar to the Baron Samedi character in Live and Let Die. The voodoo priest for James Bond. And yeah, quite an interesting gimmick. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, God rest his soul. He had been starting to become big. He debuted the previous year and is on his way to bigger and better things. By the next year, he'd be Intercontinental Champion. He'd get in some great feuds with all sorts of people. IRS. Actually, this is another one who's not in the Super NES version, because in the Super NES version is the $1 Million Man. IRS is his accountant. Irwin R. Shyster, which is basically Vince McMahon's way of sticking it to the feds, or at least, Uncle Sam. He'd berate the crowd for being a bunch of tax cheats, not paying their fair share. But how would he know? Does he have access to millions and millions of people's tax records? I don't think so. It's outside of his jurisdiction. But he'd team up with $1 Million Man and be, I almost said Macho Man, and be Money Inc., Money Incorporated. Okay, well, I think I know how I'm going to be. Let's roll it back to Razor. Chico. Alright, and we're up against Shawn Michaels. Great! WrestleMania 10 rematch! Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, graphics pretty straightforward. These are definitely classic to me. And then, when you grapple somebody, it depends. If you have a 6-button controller, it's a little easier to press the buttons, because you press Y to grapple, and then how to do it. I know it's going a little fast right now, but how you do is, okay, so like B's punch, C's kick, direction at A has you run, and you can attack while running, and then you can attack. A and B are your main attack buttons. If you have a 3-button controller, then to grapple you would press B and C at the same time. Bad guy's really taking it to the Heartbreak Kid. What in the world is that? Like, his tire. You would think it's supposed to be like red hearts on white, but actually for a while before he had like the broken heart logo, like with the stuff coming out of it, like he just basically had polka dots. It's pretty much all there is to it. Oh, he's gonna do it. The Razor's Edge. And then once you drain their energy enough, you can pin them. 1, 2. Oh, he's not done yet. Fine. I'll make you done. So anyway, the game's pretty straightforward. And if you look, you got the commentators back there. It looks like it would be... let's see, 1993, that put it to like the end of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Obviously, the gray hair you'd think would be the Brain. But then the other guy could also be Jim Ross. He had started doing commentary for WWF in 1993. Ah, well. Yeah. Okay, well now, we can do the finisher one more time. You can only do the finisher after you've weakened them enough. Once you get their health bar down to the red area, then you can do it. 1, 2, 5. I mean 3. I Python reference. And there's Mean Gene Okerlund to raise your hand in victory. Hey! And then if you want to, you could go rematch, which just puts you right back into that same match. Like, let's say you got beat and you're pissed. You know, you could do whatever. Alright, let's do the triple tag. Now, I think with Brawl, it's not elimination. It's if you knock the person down. Let's just go. Keep it at 5 difficulty. We'll let them choose opponents. Even if it's not, like, on par with, like, what it would be if it was, like, actual music. We wouldn't get that until CD-based games. And I'm not talking about Rage in the Cage for Sega CD, because that didn't even have wrestlers' music as, you know, CD quality. We'll do Taker, Hitman, looks like we say he became a good guy. Alright, so this is how we're gonna do. Because I think with the 6-button controller, it's easier to change the wrestler on the side. Yeah, because you can just press mode. See? Narcissist, Hitman. Narcissist, Hitman. But now, wrestling games, you can have up to 8 people on the screen at a time. So you could have legit 4-on-4 Survivor Series. Royal Rumbles aren't so crazy, because I remember for a while they were limited to 4 in the late 90s going into 2000s. And then with SmackDown Just Bring It, which is a game I'll plan on playing on this channel. And that one bumped it up to that I think actually bumped it up to 8, because it was the first game to it was the first game to include a referee in the ring, like, at all times. And then, if you played the 8-man teams, then there would be no physical ref. So that was kind of cool. Like, I like where they were going with that. Oh, no, wait, no. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, the person with a physical ref. Or, no. I'm getting myself confused. But basically, like, it wasn't until about 2001 they finally cracked the code and you can have more than 4 wrestlers on the screen. Gosh. I feel like this isn't even a game channel anymore. It's a wrestling trivia channel. I feel like I just laid down like 10 years worth of history. I hope I didn't bore anybody. You can get all your wrestling information anywhere. From more reputable sources, because I can't always trust myself, even. Yeah, Undertaker doing a drop kick. Well, maybe in the early 90s. Okay, they're tagging out. Maybe I need to start playing that way. Tag! Okay, so yeah, just the same punch button. This wasn't like certain games like WWF Warzone where you'd have to actually change your focus to the wrestler and then you could tag him. That was tedious. Tedious as all hell. Oh, I forgot there's another cool thing about this game. You probably already know it by now. You might have just seen me try to do it. Bam! Down goes the ref, and now you can cheat. You can now rake their eyes and choke them. They can do the same thing to you too. Now Bret Hart's normally a good guy, but hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. Now here's another cool thing. Yeah, you got a nice little chair outside. Aw, you tagged out. But the cool thing is, if you put the chair down, he'll come out. Yep. Boom. Oh, good damn. Gotta get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. God, almost got that 10 count. Ow. See, this is cool. It's like simple games can sometimes be fun. Even if it's just like a passing, 10 minutes of fun. That's still 10 minutes that you could have spent doing absolutely nothing. Now here's the interesting thing. Bret Hart's finisher is a sharpshooter, it's submission. But they don't tap out in this game. The only way that happens is if you play Brawl and you just drained all their health. But then even then you get the whole thing of like, he reverses, like they run the animation in reverse to take you out of it, instead of just letting go. Look at that. Lex Luger didn't even get any action. Okay, well, for fun, let's do a Rumble. How about the winner of the first Rumble? Well, the first Rumble in history, not televised, because they tested out the Royal Rumble back in 1987, I want to say. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan won that. But then in 1989 they turned it into a pay-per-view, and yeah. Now the whole idea for this is that. See what happened to Bret Hart right there? He just got tossed. If you weaken your opponent enough, like give them a few good hits, bring them down, and then you grapple them and you press the A button to try the move next to the ropes, it tosses them out. At the same time, if they run at you and you press the button, it throws them out there too. Now the downside is you don't know what everybody else's health is. So if you're going to try a fancy move, you got to know. Or at least have a good idea. Forgot who I was for a second. Bye-bye, Razor! And also in this match, you can do the eye rakes and the chokes at any time. Also, if you set the rules to brawl, because there's no referee. Tombstone to Shawn Michaels. How do you like that? Well, Shawn's about ready to go out. Bye. Hogan, you're next. Well, maybe not next, but you're on my list. Oh, I almost got tossed. If I was any closer to the ropes, that might have been it. God, this is a button masher of a game. Either you had to have auto fire or have some pretty strong fingers. Oh, I'm about to get tossed. I'm about to get tossed. Fight back, fight back, fight back. Haha. I was gonna get tossed, I know it. Oof! Ah! Oh, damn it! Hogan's gonna get me! Hogan gonna get me. Ah. No. The pain of it all. Ah, I rolled the wrong way. Hicker's gone. Model's gone. Jeez, I might actually get the most eliminations out of this. I saw Papa Shango get somebody, but I think I got Papa Shango, so I'm the better one. Oh, cool! I hit the other guy. I hit IRS with the same move. 2 for the price of 1. Ow. Uh-oh. Oh, he's got the cranium crunch. The head squash. Oh, bounce off the ropes. And Hogan is out. Ow. Oh, I am completely out. Yo. And he's got me again. Jesus, squash my head, why don't you? Just pop it. It's over. Whee! That was close. I mean, Final Four ain't so bad, even if there was only like 10 people. Oh, nice one. Oh, there we go. Come on. Finish this. Here's a fun fact you might not know about me. When I was about 5 years old, it was around the time I'd gotten this game, something like that, I tried to do a drop kick in real life onto hard ground, or grass, and broke my collarbone. That was a fun few weeks. Come on, just finish this. He's right there next to the damn ropes. You can end this now. That was stupid. And finally, IRS pulls it off. Jeez, that took forever. And what's cool is at the end they show the results of like, okay, here's who won, here's who they eliminated. And over here is like who they eliminated and who they got eliminated by. So there's me, 5 eliminations. I like that. And yeah, Hogan was eliminated by Duggan. Ma was eliminated by Duggan. Undertaker eliminated by Duggan. Narcissus eliminated by the model. Papa Sean was eliminated by the model. Okay, well, I got the rest of it. I cleaned the house after you. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for this one. Just wanted to divert and play a little, classic wrestling game, like even before the games that I just recently played. To bring it back a little more towards my recollection before, like my first touchings of wrestling video games. Maybe there'll be more down the road. I don't know, wrestling and video games. 2 of my favorite things. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for this episode. As always, it's Brian E, aka MrScrims87, saying thank you all for watching, thank you all for tuning in, thank you all for playing along. Glad to get back in the ring with y'all. Take care now, and I will be back.